Meeting people. Key phrases. My name is. 私の名前はアンディです。We can do better than this. So as you know, if you watch this video right here, I strongly recommend learning short Japanese phrases before you worry about things like grammar and memorizing thousands of words. I also recommend that those are natural phrases, natural Japanese phrases that Japanese people use in their day-to-day lives. By the way, if you want to follow along, you can find free Anki decks and lists of all the words and phrases that we cover in this lesson in the link in the description. Also, if you want to learn to speak Japanese or you just want to learn more Japanese, why don't you get started by hitting the subscribe button right over there. So why does watashi no namae wa Angi desu suck as a beginner phrase? Well, for starters, it's way too long. If this is the first thing you're memorizing, you might get discouraged really fast. Consider this. Instead of saying this long watashi no namae wa Angi desu, you could just say your name plus des, which is like is, but can be used alone. So, Andi des means exactly the same thing as that long watashi no namae wa Andi desu. So just Andi desu is a much easier self-introduction to memorize when you're just starting off. But we'll cover that phrase again later in the lesson. First, let's get started with the really easy stuff. The first phrase you're going to want to learn in Japanese is how to say hello. And the one you hear the most often is Konnichiwa. Let's try that more slowly. Konnichiwa. 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 Let's hear a native say that.
Konnichiwa.
One more time.
Konnichiwa.
Thanks, Yuki. So, konnichiwa means hello or good day or even good afternoon. The next phrase is for good evening. Good evening in Japanese is konbanwa. Let's try that more slowly. Konbanwa. Konbanwa. All together. Konbanwa. Konbanwa. Let's get a native.
Konbanwa.
One more time.
Konbanwa.
Great, thanks Yuki. Our next phrase is used only in the morning. So good morning in Japanese is Ohayo gozaimasu. Let's try that more slowly. Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. Let's get a native.
おはようございます。
One more time.
おはようございます。
Excellent. Now, if you're just saying good morning to your friends, a simple ohayo or ohayo is perfectly okay. So let's try that one. Ohayo. Ohayo. Let's get the native pronunciation.
おはよ
One more time.
う。おはよ
Now, a very common phrase in phrasebooks and textbooks is, how are you? Now, in English, how are you is sort of a hello, or like a set phrase. You're not actually usually asking how someone is. You should be, but you're probably not. Now, in Japanese, how are you is often translated as, O genki desu ka? O genki desu ka? But I'm gonna stop you there. O genki desu ka, or genki desu ka, is not really like the English how are you. It's not something you say to someone as you're passing by, or someone you just met even. Genki desu ka is generally a phrase you use with someone you already know, and who you probably haven't seen for a while. A mistake a lot of people who are learning Japanese make is that they ask someone that they meet for the first time, or that they just saw the day before, or literally every time they see someone, they ask them, Genki desu ka? And it just feels kind of unnatural and unnecessary. So think of this as more of a, I haven't seen you in a week or 2 weeks and I'm wondering legitimately how you are. So in that case, you would say, Genki desu ka? Genki desu ka? Genki desu ka? Genki desu ka? Let's get the native pronunciation for that.
元気ですか元気ですか
Great. So generally in a textbook, that would have been written, O genki desu ka? O genki desu ka? But that is quite polite and very formal, and I wouldn't generally use that with an actual friend or someone who I was well acquainted with. I'd be much more likely to say, Genki, or Genki desu ka? So, feel free to use either of those, Genki or Genki desu ka? Now my favorite response for Genki desu ka is Genki desu yo. So that just means, yeah, I'm great, or I'm happy, or I've been well. Most textbooks have written a very formal, long response, which is, Hai, Genki desu. Anata wa? And that's just, it sounds so stiff. I would respond with something a little bit more natural, which might be, Genki desu yo? Nani nani wa? And that nani nani is the person's name. So let's go over those responses slowly. First, Genki desu yo. Genki desu yo. Genki desu yo. Genki desu yo. Just a side note, yo is a particle that you put at the end of sentences that sort of gives someone some new information or something that they might not have known. So when I say Genki desu yo, it's just emphasizing what that person might not have known, namely that I'm good. It also adds a sort of exclamation-like feel to the sentence. Let's get the native pronunciation for that.
元気ですよ元気ですよ
And if you want to ask how the other person is doing as well, you can just add their name plus
wa.
So, if you were asking me how I was after I'd already asked you, you would say, Andi wa? Andi wa? So now let's get back to that watashi no namae wa Andi desu phrase right now. Almost every textbook and phrasebook which presents you with sentences talking about yourself start with watashi wa, which means I or me. But generally in Japanese, you don't need to use that. In fact, the less you use it, the better. You should know how it works, but we'll go over that in a later grammar lesson. For now, let's just cut it out completely. Looking at that sentence again, we have Watashi no namae wa Andi desu. Watashi no namae wa Andi desu. Now, not only can we cut the I, we can also cut the word name. And we can just say our name plus desu. So, in my case, it would be Andi desu. Andi desu. Let's check a native pronunciation for that.
ゆきですゆきです
So just so you know, even though it's so short, many Japanese people use this structure to introduce themselves. So you don't need to feel uncomfortable when you just say your name plus this. If you want to ask someone what their name is, the official long sentence is Onamae wa nan desu ka? And that's great, but when you're just starting out, that's a little bit difficult to memorize. So let's cut off that last nan desu ka, which means what? And then we'll go over the full sentence after that. The first thing you should memorize and that you can use if you forget the longer sentence is Onamae wa? Onamae wa? All together. Onamae wa? Onamae wa? Let's get the native.
お名前は
Thank you. One more time.
お名前は
Great. So now let's go over the full sentence, just so you know it. Onamae wa nan desu ka? Onamae wa nan desu ka? All together. お名前は何ですか? お名前は何ですか? Now let's go over the phrase I'm pleased to meet you, or the Japanese equivalent to it. I'm not even gonna read to you what they have in here because it's laughably long and I've almost never heard it used in real life situations. Instead, we'll use the most common set phrase that is used after introductions. Now the full phrase is yoroshiku onegai shimasu, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. First, let's cut it down to the bare minimum, which is what you can use with people who are younger than you, kids, or just with friends, or people who you feel really comfortable with. So the bare minimum is yoroshiku. Yoroshiku. All together, yoroshiku. Yoroshiku. So let's get the native pronunciation for that.
よろしくよろしく
Excellent. Now the actual translation for this is something along the lines of, please be good to me. But in practice, a better translation would probably be, pleased to meet you. So let's go over the full phrase. よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。All together, よろしくお願いします。よろしくお願いします。Let's get the native pronunciation.
よろしくお願いします。
One more time.
よろしくお願いします。
Excellent. Now this next one isn't technically a greeting, but if you've gotten this far into a conversation, you will almost definitely be asked this question. So let's go over it. Now this phrase isn't a phrase that you necessarily need to learn right now, but just get used to hearing it so you know how to respond. So that phrase and some variations of it are, どこから来ましたか? One more time. どこから来ましたか? And the meaning of that is, where are you from? Another more polite variation, which you'll very often hear with people you just met, is どちらから来ましたか? Another one of these phrases might be お国はどちらですか? お国はどちらですか? So generally all these phrases mean where are you from or what is your country and things like that. So let's get some native pronunciation for that, so you get used to listening to it even more.
どこから来ましたか？どちらから来ましたか？お国はどちらですか？
Thanks, Yuki. So after someone asks you this question, you can generally answer with just one word, which is, of course, the name of your country. So let's go over a few of those really quick. In my case, my answer is always America. All together, America. America. You can add des to the end of that if you want. So, America des. America des. But you don't have to. Let's go over a few more of those really quick. Australia. All together, Australia. Australia. That's a difficult one. Scotland. Scotland. This one's much easier. Canada. Canada. イギリス。イギリス。アイルランド。アイルランド。ウェールズ。ウェールズ。ニュージーランド。ニュージーランド。Man, I have a rough time with that one. So now let's talk about goodbye. So what do you think goodbye is in Japanese? I'll give you 3 seconds to shout it out. Now most of you, I'm willing to bet, said sayonara. You may be surprised to know this, but sayonara is almost never used in regular Japanese. The word sayonara has a sense of finality. It's a goodbye that you would say if you fully intended on never seeing the person again, or if you expected not to see them again for a very long time, generally forever. So you kind of want to be careful with this one, because if you just met someone and then when you say goodbye you say sayonara, it kind of sounds like you never want to see them again. So let's go over some phrases which people actually use when they're saying goodbye. Let's cover good night first. This one is oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi nasai. All together, oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi nasai. Let's get the native pronunciation for that.
おやすみなさい。 おやすみなさい。
Great. If you're saying goodbye to a friend or someone that's close to you, you can shorten that quite a bit down to おやすみ。おやすみ。All together, おやすみ。おやすみ。Let's get the native pronunciation for that one.
おやすみ。おやすみ。
Good night. Now let's go over some really short, nice little phrases that can be used when you're saying goodbye at any time of day. The first one is じゃあね. Slow it down a little bit. じゃあね. じゃあね. All together. じゃあね. One more time. じゃあね. This can mean see you or later. Another thing you could say is またね. またね. All together. またね。またね. Let's get the native pronunciation for that.
じゃあね。またね。
So, またね literally means again, right? But just like じゃあね, it's see you later or next time or bye bye. You know, same thing. Now you can actually combine those two into one and say じゃあまたね。じゃあまたね. So the じゃ in じゃあまたね is kind of like the English alright, well, see ya. So the alright, well part. Or like the well, see you later. The じゃあまたね, the じゃ would be well, see you later. The well part. Finally, if you want to go really informal, or if you're talking to kids or whatever, the easiest and most surprising maybe is bye bye, which is just English, right? But kids and friends say it all the time. Slowing it down, I doubt you really need this, but let's do it anyway. It's bye bye. So, bye bye. Now, if you just met someone for the first time and you're really hoping to see them again, you can add this to the end of your interaction. また会いましょうね。また会いましょうね. All together. また会いましょうね。また会いましょうね. Let's get the native pronunciation for that.
また会いましょうね。
また会いましょうね means let's meet again or let's do this again sometime. And that's all the greetings and goodbyes you really need to know in Japanese. If there's any other phrases or things that you were hoping to learn in this lesson, please let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can answer them there. If you enjoyed this video, いいねを押してください. If you want to learn Japanese or you want to improve the Japanese you already know, why don't you join the community? チャンネル登録お願いします。チャンネル登録お願いします。じゃあまた会いましょうね。